Uh, oh man, this shit is funny. Man, I got something funny for y'all tonight.
Mayor and police superintendent say they're furious that actor Jussie Smollett is no longer facing criminal charges. Prosecutors dropped all 16 felony counts yesterday with little explanation.
Smollett is accused of a racist, homophobic beating, allegedly because he was unhappy about his pay on the show Empire. He denies that.
I've been truthful and consistent on every single level since day one. I would not be my mother's son if I was capable of one drop of what I've been accused of.
Our own Adriana Diaz asked the lead prosecutor why they dropped the charges.
Believe that he is innocent?
I do not believe he's innocent.
So you believe he's guilty?
Yes.
So why drop the charges?
Our priority is violent crimes and the drivers of violence. Jussie Smollett is neither one of those.
The question about whether
Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel called the decision a whitewash of justice.
CBS News legal analyst Ricky Klingman is with us. Ricky, this is so hard to understand. So if prosecutors think that he's guilty, why drop the charges? And by the way, why not inform the police superintendent or the mayor ahead of time?
Well, there's a mouthful in that question. Number one is this is totally not typical. They have tried to put it off to the public as this being the usual course of business for a nonviolent first-time offender. Oh, do 2 days of community service, forfeit your bond, $10,000, you're just like everybody else. This is an example of justice for the rich and powerful versus justice for the poor. I don't see it as any different from the rich people who got their kids into college by untoward means because they had money and power, and what you have here. Yes, they could have come to an agreement, the defense lawyer and the prosecutor, to do something like what we call continued without a finding or an adjournment in contemplation of dismissal. These are legal terms where you get 6 months to be able to be on good behavior. And you would pay much more money. You would think that you would have restitution here. You would admit guilt. You would do an apology to the entire city of Chicago. None of that happened here. And how does it get worse? I'm sorry, John, I can't help it. How does it get worse? Who gets out there first? The defendant and his lawyer get out there first. He gets to proclaim his innocence. So we all think, or at least the lawyer in me thinks, well, what was wrong with the case? Was there something wrong with the brothers? Did they go arrest the brothers if he is then telling the truth? And it's only hours later that the prosecutor corrects this.
And also, Ricky, prosecutors and police have to work together on all kinds of other cases. Doesn't this create some bad blood for all those other cases because of what you just described?
There is no doubt about that. Let's take a look at what happened yesterday. Superintendent Eddie Johnson, Mayor Rahm Emanuel, where are they? They're at a police graduation. They have new recruits coming into the department. They are then informed of this decision. If you are a prosecutor dealing with someone who has cost the city all of these resources, all of these man hours, and you have known that this is a crime of lying to the police, who are the people you would notify first before you did such an amazing act as this one? You would notify the police that this is what you intend to do. You would have the police come to a press conference with you. And in this case, lest we forget, the FBI was also looking at this case. I'm sure they weren't notified either.
And these were charges brought on by a grand jury, mind you.
Well, how would you feel if you were a member of that grand jury? You heard all of this evidence. You returned an indictment for 16 counts. How do jurors feel in the future about their word being disregarded? This is not the typical nonviolent first-time offender. This is a person who, according to this prosecutor, we just heard him, is guilty, was not the victim of a hate crime, who took a look at what happens in the city of Chicago that is roiled by race. And what he does is he casts himself in the role of a victim, turns the city inside out, and then it turns out that he's lying. When Mayor Emanuel says this is a whitewash, when Eddie Johnson and Mayor Emanuel come forward and talk about has he no shame, I want to just add one thing while I'm on this roll. This is a person who started this if he is guilty, and we know that the prosecutor says he's guilty because he wanted publicity, what do we wind up with? No transparency, no public forum, something that is done quickly and quietly in an emergency, and not have a trial where they wanted a camera in court to clear his name.
And the case is sealed per the defense's request. So many questions, Ricky. I know we are all exercised and curious about this, but
So Jussie Smollett's real life officially has a more plot twist than episode of Empire, because just 3 weeks after being indicted on 16 felony counts for allegedly faking a hate.
Whew. Yeah. Yeah, I just had to play that for you real quick. Oh, man. Now I was just watching CNN on my phone with Don Lemon. and you know, Don Lemon's even upset. Everybody's upset, from the Chicago PD to the Chicago mayor, all the way to all these commentators and pretty much all the white mainstream news media, from the CNNs to probably the MSNBCs, the Fox Newses of the world, the CBSs of the world. Everybody's upset, man. Everybody's upset about old boy Jussie getting off. You know what I'm saying? Shit. Well, it's just like the OJ trial. You know what I'm saying? Where everybody was mad that OJ got off, man. I'll tell you. Oh, what a unpredictable ass country we're living in. But you know, the people who write the stories, the people who control the narratives and everything, you know, they're the ones who set all this up. You know what I'm saying? They'll drop you an anomaly here and there. You know what I'm saying? And then they gotta justify itself. Well, it was let's like what was it, the Chicago chief? To somebody from Chicago, it was the white guy who was interviewed. He said, well, we only investigate violent crimes. That's really our priority. I have to side-eye that. Like, really? Really? Because there's a lot of missing girls who are missing in Chicago. There's a lot of violent crimes that have never been solved in Chicago. It's like that everywhere, because witnesses are afraid to come forward if they have seen anything. You know what I'm saying? In some cases, there may not be any witnesses to the crime. You got that factor as well. So that's how a lot of cases end up becoming cold cases real quick. You know? I mean, the young guys who shot me in the leg when I was living in Hampton, Virginia. You know what I'm saying? That case went cold quick because they couldn't find the guys who did it. I didn't think they was going to find the guys who did it anyway, because all they're going to do is get my information and ask a whole bunch of questions as to what happened. And after that, the only time they came to my place when I was staying at in Hampton with my oldest brother was to show me a lineup of all these guys who may have been part of the crime. They didn't even ask to bring me to the station or nothing. They didn't have a lineup enough. They just had a lineup in this book of guys that are already in jail. You know what I'm saying? And none of them don't fit the description. I told them honestly, none of them don't fit the description. So that case went cold quick. You know. So, and if they did got caught, it would have been for something else, for some other violent crime. You know. So, I mean, I don't know who these people think they fooling in Chicago. They ain't fooling me. And I'm hoping they're not fooling most of the black people who live in Chicago, man, because this is ridiculous. Come on, man. I mean, this whole Jussie Smollett thing, the whole story is a hoax to begin with. You know what I'm saying? Why has the media invested so much time on this story. CNN just is still talking about it tonight on Don Lemon's show. I just watched that before I got on live here. Oh, shit. Hold on for a second. So good. That was my pot that fell. Wow. It's just utterly amazing. Absolutely amazing. It's just, the media just never cease to amaze. Never cease to amaze. But yet you got women who are being raped and drugged and stuff in real life who are not celebrities, and they don't get any type of shine, any type of media attention. But they get celebrities like Cardi B and Jussie Smollett all of the news. And you know what? Let me tell you something. These entertainers, they're all nothing but actors. They get paid extra for making headlines on the news. You know what I'm saying? So basically, all these stories, and most stories we read throughout history, they're all nothing but a bunch of lies. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty much everything that we have been told is lies. So it's just we just have to be aware of that and to recognize this is all ain't nothing but an act. It's nothing but a joke. And people expect you to take it seriously. How can I take it seriously when I can obviously see these stories are nothing but jokes? I'm sorry, I don't even buy none of this garbage. All of it is this garbage right now. Even the Cardi B started talking about she drugged people and robbed them and shit like that. Please. I bet she ain't did half of that shit. She just mouthing off so she could get paid a little extra money for her Illuminati masters. Same with Jussie Smollett. Same with any other celebrity, whether they're an actor, actress, singer, rapper, whatever. You know what I mean? You can't believe anything that these celebrities say, man. They just lost all credibility with me. A lot of times we just have to look at these people with a side eye because they lying like a motherfucker. A lot of them are, and it's sad. It's sad. You know, and people still, but what's even more sad is that people still believe in these people, believe in these celebrities. We got to stop doing that, man. We got to stop putting these celebrities on a goddamn pedestal. For real. That's just my commentary on this. I ain't got nothing left to say. This is all a joke. You know what I'm saying? This is all a joke. Even Donald Trump's presidency is a fucking joke. The Mueller report. Man, when they found out old boy Trump wasn't once they found out that there was no proof that there was no Russian collusion in the 2016 elections, man, shoot. Oh, the mainstream media, they just went off. They were like, especially the liberal news media. Oh, God, they just went off. They were like, oh, no, this is a travesty. The Chicago mayor talking about a whitewashing of justice. Get the hell out of here with that bullshit. Oh, we got to laugh at all this shit. This shit is just funny. This shit is just funny. I wonder what else funny they're going to come up. They're going to come up with something funny next. I don't know what it is, but they're going to come up with something else funny next, and I'm going to laugh my ass off. That's all we can do. This world ain't nothing but a damn joke. Even the shit in the courtroom is a fucking joke. Ain't nothing but a bunch of goddamn actors. Everybody just acting their part. That's all. That's all we doing. That's all they doing. Yep. That's all I have to say on this video. like and share, and subscribe to my channel.